This is the story of a desolate well near my village, which people used to call the Calling Well. The villagers believed that if anyone went near that well after sunset, a woman's voice would come from inside, calling them by their name and inviting them to come into the well. Whoever heard her voice once would never return. I grew up in the city and considered these stories to be mere superstition. One night, I made a bet with my friends that I would go to that well at midnight and prove them wrong. It was 12 a.m. I took my torch and set off for the well. The silence of the village was so profound that I could hear my own heartbeat. As I got closer to the well, the wind began to pick up, and the tree branches clashed against each other as if someone were screaming. Reaching the well, I shone the torchlight into its deep darkness. I couldn't see anything below, just an endless abyss of water. I laughed, smiling to myself at the villagers' foolishness. I was about to turn back when suddenly, a faint but very clear voice fell upon my ears. It took my name, Aman. My hair stood on end. The voice came from so close, as if someone was standing right behind me. I immediately turned around, but there was no one there. I ran with trembling steps, but the voice came again, a little louder this time. Aman, where are you going? It's very dark here. I stopped to catch my breath and then looked towards the well. In the torchlight, I saw a shadow standing on the edge of the well. It was the figure of a woman, with long hair covering her face. Her voice was no longer coming from inside the well, but was floating in the air. Her next words pierced my heart like an arrow. She said, "You know, the water here is very cold. I want to play with you." Her voice had now turned into a terrifying whisper. I ran for my life. I ran and ran until I reached my house, locked the door from the inside, and collapsed on the floor. I was panting, my whole body soaked in sweat. Just then, I heard a sound. It was coming from inside my house. It was the same voice. That whisper echoed in my ears. "I told you. I have come." I opened my eyes and saw there were wet footprints on my floor, and they were slowly moving towards my bed. I wanted to scream, but my voice was stuck in my throat. In front of me, a wet shadow was sitting on my bed. Its face was still not visible, but its wet fingers had touched my feet. The ending. As soon as her wet fingers touched my feet, an icy wave ran through my entire body. I could neither move nor scream. She leaned into my ear and whispered in a cold, waterlogged voice, "Now you are with me." Darkness covered my eyes and I fainted. When my eyes opened, the first rays of the sun were scattered in my room. I was soaked in sweat and my heart was pounding. I calmed myself and thought it was just a terrible dream. I got up to drink water, but then my gaze fell on the floor. From my bed to the door, wet footprints were made, and on my feet, there was still mud and the dampness of the well's water. I closed my eyes in fear, but as soon as I opened them, I heard a slow, wet whisper from my own throat. "Come on, let's go back to the well." If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to our channel right now.